everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode of More Sewing with Michele. On this week's episode, I found this new product when I was doing my research, and I went, oh my golly, so many things that we can do with this, and I just had to bring it in to show you. This product is called liquid vinyl. Now, you can see when I first saw it, I was intrigued by the name liquid vinyl because I thought of all the different things this bottle could do for us. If we're a crafter, if we're a sewer, if we're a quilter, there's just so many things that vinyl, if you can create your own with your own fabrics, it just is a game changer to me. So I had to bring it in. I did. I have a demo that I'm going to be showing you, and I even made a little zip bag. I wanted to show you how easy it is to use this product by Heat and Bond liquid vinyl in your crafting and your sewing. So let's get going on this week's More Sewing with Michele. So let's start off by talking about what exactly is ThermoWeb's liquid vinyl. Now, you're probably familiar with the company ThermoWebs because they have the Heat and Bond, which is double-sided adhesive. So what they did was they took their knowledge and they created this wonderful product here, the liquid vinyl. Now, what liquid vinyl will do is it has the potential to take your fabrics, just an ordinary piece of quilting fabric, and turn it into like oilcloth or a vinyl. So vinyl, obviously, we have used in kitchen tablecloths and placemats and other things for years. But think about it, vinyl, what else would it be good in? Baby bibs, anything that we want to be stain resistant and also repel water. So with that, they went ahead and they made this vinyl liquid, and it comes in this tube, and it's gelatinous. It's kind of like a pudding consistency, and basically you're going to need a paintbrush, one with fine bristles. Now, let me share a little bit of a story. I use this one here, and some of these bristles actually came off when I was painting it onto the fabric. And they were basically embedded then inside of, well, not inside, but on top of the fabric, but with this on top. So keep in mind, you want to make sure that you have bristles that aren't going to fall off or come off. And if you have really fine bristles, those are probably better than this, where they're a little bit thicker. Anyways, you're going to need a paintbrush. I suggest the first one I started to use, it was a very thin paintbrush. Get a wide paintbrush. It just is a no-brainer. It's going to go on faster, simpler, with less strokes than if you have a small paintbrush. So anything like this or above, this is about 1 inch, is perfect for the job. So basically, what you do is you take this product with a paintbrush and you paint it onto fabric. And it gives it that coating that we want. Now, that coating with one layer is going to make things water resistant. So think about, while I'm talking, all the things that you might want fabric to be water resistant. Now, if you do 2 layers, it becomes waterproof. And with all of them, it doesn't matter how many layers you put on, it's always going to be stain resistant. So why would I want something stain resistant? The first thing that comes to mind with me is those white Keds sneakers. Wouldn't that be great as soon as you get them to put some liquid vinyl on them? Not only will it protect them, it will make them stain resistant, but it also will make them water repellent if you put on 2 coats. So think about all the things. It's not just for sewing, but as a quilter and as a sewer and a crafter, this product, I just kind of went, whoa, I can't wait to use it. One of the other things that I thought about right away is baby bibs. Anything that you want to be able to wipe clean and not have any residue or staining. So make your adorable quilted bibs for that new grandbaby, but then go ahead and coat it. And you can coat it before or after you make it, whichever you prefer. I am going to show you a little bit later one of the projects I made so you can see how easy it is. but coat it. And that way, that product is going to be completely wipe clean, and you're going to not have any problems. Now, when you do use this, the one thing that I do have to say is that you can wash it in cold water. You can't use hot water or anything like that because it will take the liquid vinyl off. But it is washable in cold water. So that's cool too. So lots of things you can do with it. And like I said, it comes out like a gel. This bottle is 8.68 ounces, so you get quite a bit. And it goes a long ways. Literally, a little bit can cover a huge space of your fabric. They do suggest that you wash your fabrics first before you use it. However, I did not for the one piece that I do. For the little zip bag I'm going to show you, because I often don't like to pre-wash my fabrics once they're cut because I think they fray too much. So what I would suggest, if you're going to do something that's more permanent, like clothing or maybe an apron, that type of thing, wash a large piece of fabric first and then go ahead and do your cutting for the pieces, and then you can seal it with your liquid vinyl. One other thing that I do want to go over real quick is I don't want you to make the same mistake I made. It does say that you need to, when you're putting it on, you need to make sure that it's on a surface where it's not going to stick. So I did two different things. The first one that I used was my wonderful Quilter Select ruler, because I know it's washable. But you probably can't see, or maybe you can't, but it completely stuck to it. It was like glue. So it's got this coating. I will clean this. I will save my mat because I love these mats. But don't use anything that has a paper backing or isn't completely, resistant to adhesive. Now, I had talked about these before. These are the Appli-Fuse mats that we had on an episode. This is what I use for the rest of it. And hands down, the best thing ever. It did not stick to it. It completely dried super fast. So use your Appli-Fuse mat or anything that has some coating on it so that nothing will stick when you are applying your wonderful liquid vinyl to your fabrics. So that's kind of it. I'll go over the process a little bit more, but keep in mind, once again, one layer makes it water resistant. 2 layers or more make it completely waterproof. And if you go for that third layer of the liquid vinyl, it makes it like oilcloth. And oilcloth, there's so many good usages for that. I know that when I was in Australia, that's what they use out in the outback for their jackets, is they basically take their jackets and they make them completely water resistant and repellent. And that, was that oilcloth type thing. Now, you can get oilcloth in stores, but the advantage, and let me go over this one more time, the advantage to having this bottle of liquid vinyl is you can use your fabrics that you already have bought, fallen in love with, and make your own oilcloth or something that looks like vinyl and sew with it. It is just so cool. So, liquid vinyl, let me get on, and I'm going to show you how to actually put it onto the fabrics, and I'll talk a little bit more in just a minute. So, you know what to do by now. To pick up your wonderful, amazing bottle of liquid vinyl by Heat and Bond, you're going to go to moors-sew.com, or you can click on the link in the description that'll take you to the More Sewing with Michele landing page, where you can get your bottle as well as the Appli-Fuse sheet that's going to help you when you actually put your liquid vinyl onto your fabrics. Super easy, moors-sew.com. Okay, so let me show you just how simple and easy the process is to make your fabric into like oilcloth or a vinyl, anything that you want to protect. Stain resistant, water resistant, and potentially waterproof. It's completely up to you based on the number of coats that you put on of this Heat and Bond's liquid vinyl. So I already kind of went over how, what to use, the brush, and also where to do it. So you're simply going to dip it in, and I like to kind of, when you open up your sour cream, you kind of stir it up. I kind of like to stir it up a little bit, get it coated on my brush. like so. And let me hold it up to the close-up. You can see that it's like this liquid stuff. And then I simply just paint it on. Now, a little bit goes a long way. One of the things you need to be careful of, because, you know, it's like most things, if something's going to go wrong, it's going to happen to me, and that way I can at least show you guys what to do or what not to do in this case. So I like to go through and make sure that all the edges are completely done, and then I go kind of in a crosshatch. But I just saw, and I don't know where it went, there was a little piece of red thread. Make sure that nothing is on this fabric because it will be secured and stuck in there for good. So you're going to want to make sure that there's no threads or anything. So once again, you can see just a little bit. It's like a gelatinous pudding, like a tapioca color. And I simply just brush it on. And I try to have my strokes go, you know, back and forth in certain directions. What I do like to do when I am putting it on, I like to kind of secure the edges. And that way I know that everything's going to kind of stay in place. Now keep in mind, the reason that the last time I did it and I used my Quilter Select ruler, that everything kind of stuck down was because this completely permeates into the fabric to make it waterproof. So you need to be careful that you don't want wrinkles. You want it to kind of go smooth and without a hitch. And make sure that it's not on any sort of surface that has paper or that it can get stuck to. So just like that, I kind of have gone through. Now I'm going back the other directions to make sure that everything is nice and spread out across. Go back on this one. And as promised, done. That's how simple and easy it is. Now keep in mind, I only did these 2 small pieces of fabric here. If I was to do something larger, it would take obviously a little bit more time, but that's how easy it is. Now what I'd like to do is I put mine aside when I did mine for the zip bag I made. I put it aside for about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and they were already completely dry. But we all know, just like with paint, that depends upon the temperature outside and the humidity and all of that. So what you want to do is just let it completely dry, and then you can test it to see what it's like, if it's dry or not. You're going to want to make sure that you clean up the edges of your bottle here, and then put your lid on so that you don't have anything get stuck and you can get back into this bottle without any problems. And then you're also going to want to clean your brush. Make sure that all of that is completely out of your brush so that you're ready to go with the next time. And let it dry. And like I said, first coat will make it stain proof. And then second coat will make it waterproof. Third coat makes it like oilcloth. And with that, let me put this aside now. And I want to show you some fabrics here up close. Let me get them on right. Okay, so we have 2 pieces that I also did yesterday. And I love foxes. I think you guys know that already. But you can see this is with 1 coat, and it's pretty flexible. And if I hold it up close, you might be able to see the sheen. Now I have a video where I was sewing the zip bags together, and that will kind of go over the sheen too. Now this second one, I did 3 coats, and it is significantly thicker, and it's got like a very thick sheen on it. Now if I hold the 2 up together, you can tell because they fold and roll at difference, because it's definitely totally thicker. The first one with 1 coat is very soft. The second one with the second, you can see when I shift them around, it's got some heft to it, and it's got a little bit of weight, and it is definitely a thicker product now, which is why it becomes completely water resistant and stain resistant. So I love these, and potential, so much you can do with these. And these are just a few of the pieces here. So once again, this is the one with 1 coat and 2 coats. You might be able to tell, if I hold them up close, the difference in the sheens from the light, but that's that. Now I want to show you my little zip bag. So here's the little zip bag that I made, and I did the same thing. I did 3 coats of the liquid vinyl, and then what I did was I went ahead and I sewed on top of it. And I have this video right here to show you. Just how easy it is to sew these when the fabric, I have like the little quilt sandwich. So I have the batting and I have the backing and the topping, and I'm just sewing them together without a hitch. It really was no problem at all. And then I also wanted to show you, and I'll show you up close, my little zip bag here. So you can see it's got the fabric, it's got that sheen on it. Just very simply done with a lining. And I love using these heavy duty zippers on there. So just a really simple project. And it can be a pencil bag. It can be pretty much so anything. But I love making projects. And I love the fact that this is now waterproof. Now let me show you real quick a little demo on what it means to be waterproof with liquid vinyl. So some of the things that you still may have questions or may need to know is if you go ahead and take your 3 coats and you go ahead and sew with, a needle and thread, those holes potentially can make this fabric not completely waterproof. So I want you to be aware of that. So what you can do, if you really want it 100% waterproof, maybe you're making an iPhone case or an iPad case, go ahead and do all your sewing and then coat your product that you've made. Same thing, if you buy a hat that you want to make waterproof, do the same thing. You can apply it to anything that's already pre-made. So I'm going to show a video real quick that shows this little zip bag, and it shows you kind of the sheen up close. Roll that clip. Okay, so I just completed doing the quilting on this little fabric, but I have the wonderful liquid vinyl on here, and I want to show you in the sunlight. You can see this is with 2 coats how it has turned this waterproof and stain resistant. It's got that sheen on it just like an oilcloth. I am so in love with this. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish up, add my zipper and the other elements to finish this little bag that I'll show you. Okay, so you can see that the fabrics and everything, when I was making my zip bag, how that sheen, and I'll hold it up close here, it's got like a sheen, and it definitely feels like, there's a coating on it now, which is good. Now I want to show you real quick just how it becomes water resistant, water repellent. So I've got my water here. And this first piece here, I have only 1 coat on. So I'm going to show it here, and I'm going to pour some water right there. And you can see that water is just sitting right up on top there. It's not going anywhere. Now the second one is with 3 coats. And this one would be like oilcloth. And once again, it's completely not absorbing that water at all. So let me get those up so that I can, and that's with 1 coat, water resistant, 2 coats completely, and 3 coats waterproof. So I can just wipe those off. Now keep in mind, if that was spaghetti sauce or whatever, it's the same thing. You're going to be able to just wipe your fabrics clean. Now on my little zip bag that I made here, let me put it in and I'll show you. Now keep in mind, this one I went ahead and I did all the waterproofing ahead of time, and then I did my stitching on top. And I'm going to dump some water on this one too. So you can see that water just stays right there, pulled up. I can splash, go about. It's not going anywhere. So let me wipe it off now. And that's the fun beauty of this. Now, now do you understand why I was so excited when I saw this product? Because the value of having something that is water resistant, waterproof, and stain resistant is just incredible. The things that you can do with this are limitless. And I haven't even gone into all the potential possibilities that you may need to think about when you're making something. But keep in mind with most things, you always want to test a little bit of your fabric first to make sure that it's not going to pull out the dyes and that the fabrics dyes are not going to be running or create a mess. So always test your fabrics first. And you're going to want to iron things after. Sometimes when it gets done, the fabric may be a little wrinkly depending upon the coats. And in order to iron it, what I suggest you have is a Teflon sheet. Go ahead and put it on your iron. You can put your fabric underneath, secure it, and then you can iron away without any problems. So you can iron them nice and flat. And what else? What else do I need to tell you? Oh, your iron should be at medium heat, and do not use steam when you're using that because that will reactivate the liquid. We want it to not turn into a sticky mess again. Like I said, you can apply it onto hats, shoes. Like I said, there's so many things you can do with this. And I hope that you have been inspired. I know you're going to want to pick this up, so don't forget to go to moors-sew.com where you can get your liquid vinyl today. And make a little zip bag, make a bib. Doesn't matter what you make. Your potential for crafting and sewing is going to be incredible for this, for waterproof and also stain resistant. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of More Sewing with Michele. I have had a blast coming up with ideas and bringing this product in to share with you. I hope you have a fabulous day, and until next time, bye-bye!